The elevator doors slid open on the 42nd floor, and there he was, Cameron Hale, the Ice King of Hale and Associates. His piercing blue eyes locked on me like I'd just confessed to corporate espionage. My coffee slipped from my hand, shattering against the marble floor in a scalding spray that soaked my loafers. But he didn't flinch, didn't break that stare, as if the chaos was just another Tuesday in his perfectly controlled world. "Clean it up, newbie," he said, voice like gravel under tires, but his gaze lingered a beat too long on the flush creeping up my neck. And in that split second, I knew this wasn't oversight. This was hunger. I wiped the last of the coffee stain from my slacks with a wad of paper towels, the janitor's closet smelling like bleach and regret, when my phone buzzed. It was a text from my roommate, Mia. "Dude, spill. Did you trip over your own feet again or what?" HR's buzzing about the spill. I snorted, typing back a quick manager's fault, as like lasers, before shoving the phone in my pocket. 3 weeks into my gig at Hale and Associates, and I was already the office punchline. Luke Harper, fresh-faced transplant from Ohio, wide-eyed dreamer crashing into the steel and glass beast of Manhattan finance. I'd moved here chasing the neon promise of Wall Street. Big bucks, bigger dreams, but so far, it was just endless spreadsheets and the kind of soul-crushing fluorescent hum that made you question your life choices at 3 a.m. Pushing out of the closet, I straightened my tie, cheap polyester from Target, nothing like the silk nooses the senior analysts wore, and headed back to my cubicle farm on the trading floor. The open-plan office thrummed with the low roar of keyboards clacking, phones murmuring stock quotes, and the occasional bark of laughter from the break room. I slid into my ergonomic chair, the one with the squeaky wheel that no one had bothered to fix, and fired up my dual monitors. Bloomberg terminals glowed like digital altars, feeding me rivers of data on mergers, acquisitions, the endless churn of capital that kept the city afloat. But my mind wasn't on the S&P 500. It was on him, Cameron Hale. The name alone sent ripples through the firm, alpha of alphas, the guy who'd clawed his way from a scholarship kid at Columbia to CEO by 35. Stories swirled like smoke. How he'd tanked a rival hedge fund with one brutal short sell. How he never smiled in meetings. How his ex-assistant quit after a single disappointed email. Cold. Calculated. Untouchable. And yet, that stare in the elevator. It wasn't anger. It was something feral, like a wolf sizing up prey it wasn't sure it wanted to chase or devour. I shook it off, diving into my assignment, valuing a tech startup acquisition for the morning pitch. Numbers blurred, revenue projections, EBITDA multiples until a shadow fell over my desk. I looked up, and there he was again, arms crossed over his broad chest, suit jacket straining against shoulders that screamed hours in some private gym overlooking Central Park. "Harper," he said, my name rolling off his tongue like a verdict. "My office." Now, the walk to the corner suite felt like a death march. Glass walls framed the Hudson River, gray and churning under a November sky threatening snow. His office was minimalist brutalism. Black leather furniture, a single abstract painting of jagged lines that probably cost more than my student loans, and a desk the size of a small car, piled with nothing but a MacBook and a Montblanc pen. "Sit." He didn't. He paced, hands in pockets, every step measured. I perched on the edge of the chair, heart hammering like I'd chugged 3 espressos. "That spill? Sloppy. But it's not why you're here." I swallowed. "Then why?" Sir. He stopped, turning to face me, that blue gaze pinning me like a butterfly to corkboard. Up close, he was even more arresting, jaw carved from marble, dark hair tousled just enough to hint at rebellion under the polish. A faint scar slicing through his left eyebrow like a secret. Because I saw you in the interview last month. You walked in here with that fire, talking about disrupting fintech like it was personal. Not like these drones who parrot CNBC. Heat flooded my cheeks. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He leaned against the desk. Close enough I could smell his cologne. Cedar and smoke. Expensive as sin. You're raw. Untested. But I need someone who sees the angles others miss. You're on my team now. Personal assistant. Starting tomorrow. My brain short-circuited. Personal assistant? To him, the promotion ladder at Hale and Associates was greased with politics. Analysts slaved years for a shot at the inner circle. And me, the intern who just baptized the elevator in Starbucks? Is this a joke? I blurted. His lips twitched. Not a smile, but close. Dangerous. Do I look like a man who jokes? Luke. The way he said my name, low, intimate, sent a shiver down my spine. I nodded, mumbling something about gratitude, and bolted when he dismissed me with a curt wave. Back at my desk, the news spread like wildfire. Newbie scores golden ticket. High fives from the bullpen crew, Mia texting fireworks emojis. But as I packed up for the night, stealing one last glance at his frosted glass door, I caught it again, that silhouette, paused, watching me go. And damn if my pulse didn't race like I just mainlined adrenaline. The next morning, I arrived at 6:45 a.m., armed with a fresh suit from H&M and a thermos of black coffee, strong enough to strip paint, Midwestern style. The office was a ghost town, just the hum of HVAC and the distant clatter of the cleaning crew. Cameron's door was ajar, light spilling like an invitation. I knocked softly. Enter. He was at his desk, sleeves rolled to elbows, forearms corded with muscle as he scribbled notes on a legal pad. No tie today, top button undone, revealing a sliver of tan throat. The man was a walking contradiction, boardroom shark in daylight, rogue poet by dawn. You're early. Good. He didn't look up. First task, pull comps on the Vertex merger. I want every angle, regulatory risks, synergy traps. By noon, I nodded, settling at the auxiliary desk he'd cleared in the corner. My new kingdom, a folding table with a power strip and a dying ficus. Hours blurred in a frenzy of Excel sheets and SEC filings, the river outside turning to molten gold as the sun climbed. By 11:58, I compiled a 50-page deck, charts crisp, footnotes exhaustive. I slid it across his desk. He scanned it, silent, flipping pages with those long fingers. Minutes ticked. Sweat beaded on my neck. Impressive, he finally said, eyes lifting to mine. Flawed, but impressive. You missed the antitrust wildcard from the '08 precedents. Fix it. Relief mixed with a sting. Praise from Cameron Hale felt like absolution. On it, but he didn't let me retreat. Lunch. With me. It wasn't a question. We ended up at a hole-in-the-wall deli in Midtown, the kind with formica counters and pastrami that could resurrect the dead. He ordered for us rye on rye, no mustard, paying cash from a worn leather wallet that looked out of place in his Armani world. Why me? I asked, Between bites, the sandwich grease dripping like forbidden fruit. He chewed thoughtfully, staring out at the pedestrian crush. Because you're not afraid to bleed for it. I see it in your eyes, that hunger. Reminds me of someone I used to know. There was a shadow there, a crack in the armor. Who? My younger self. He wiped his mouth. Abrupt. Before the suits swallowed him whole. The rest of the week was a whirlwind. Dawn briefings. Late-night strategy sessions where his intensity bordered on obsession. I catch him watching me. Not staring, exactly, but lingering glances over the rim of his coffee mug. Or when I paced reciting pitch lines, his eyes tracing my movements like he was memorizing a map. It unnerved me, electrified me. Nights, I'd crash on my futon in Bushwick, Mia blasting K-pop to drown out the subway rumble. But sleep came fitful, haunted by blue eyes and unspoken what-ifs. Friday hit like a freight train. The Vertex pitch to the boardroom brass, Cameron front and center, me shadowing with backups. He owned the room, voice commanding, dismantling objections with surgical precision. I handed slides, heart in throat, and when he nailed the close, this isn't a merger, it's a revolution. The applause thundered. In the elevator descent, alone for once, he turned to me, loosening his tie. You were solid up there. Steady hand. Thanks. You make it easy. A chuckle, low and rare. Nothing's easy, Luke. But you. You make it bearable. The air thickened, charged. His hand brushed mine. Accidental? Intentional? As we stepped out. I pulled back, pulse thundering, mumbling about weekend plans. But as I fled into the throng, I felt it, his gaze on my back, burning. That night, at a dive bar in the East Village with Mia and our ragtag crew bartenders, artists, the city's misfit mosaic, I nursed a whiskey sour, replaying the week like a fever dream. Girl, your boss sounds like a dom in denial, Mia teased, her eyeliner sharp as her wit. You gonna tap that tension or what? I laughed it off, but the seed was planted. Gay in Ohio had been whispers and church basements. In New York, it was liberation, grinder pings, pride floats, the freedom to want without apology. But Cameron, he was an enigma wrapped in enigma. No ring, no rumors, just that aura of solitude that pulled like gravity. Monday dawned brutal. Snow flurries whipping the streets. The office a pressure cooker with Vertex rumors leaking to Bloomberg. Cameron was edgier, snapping at analysts, holing up in his office like a storm cloud. By afternoon, he summoned me. Walk with me. We hit the streets, collars up against the bite, weaving through holiday shoppers already decking the avenues. Central Park loomed, skeletal trees dusted white. Talk to me, he said, breath fogging. What's eating you? I blinked. Me? You're the one pacing like a caged tiger. He stopped under a lamppost, face half-shadowed. This life is a machine. Grinds you down until you're just gears. You remind me there's more. That spark. My throat tightened. Cameron. Luke. His voice dropped, hand lifting as if to touch my arm, then falling. I shouldn't say this, but I can't stop watching you. Distracting. The world narrowed to his eyes, stormy as the Hudson. I stepped closer, reckless. Then don't stop. For a heartbeat, he was there, lips parting, body leaning before he recoiled, cursing under his breath. Christ. I can't. Not like this. He stormed off, leaving me in the snow, heart splintered. Betrayal? No. Worse, vulnerability, raw and real. Back at the office, I buried it in work, but the glances persisted, mine two magnets fighting poles. Weeks bled into December. The flirtation simmered underground. A shared glance in meetings, his fingers brushing mine on a shared pen. Late nights where conversation veered from markets to dreams. His scholarship struggles, my Ohio closeted years. He opened cracks. A love for jazz dives in Harlem, a scar from a bar fight in college defending a friend's honor. I shared, too, the fear of fading into mediocrity, the ache for connection in a city of strangers. Christmas Eve. The office emptied early, strings of lights twinkling like false promises. I stayed, polishing a report, when he appeared, overcoat dusted with flakes. Come with me. We ended up at his penthouse, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the glittering skyline, a space as stark as his soul. Leather sofas, bookshelves groaning with econ tomes and Kerouac. Jazz crooned from hidden speakers, Coltrane, Moody and Blue. Drink. He poured scotch, amber liquid glinting. We talked for hours, fire crackling in the hearth he'd lit. Vulnerabilities spilled. His failed engagement to a society girl who couldn't handle his ambition. My ex back home who bailed when I came out. The air hummed. Inevitable. Then, he kissed me. Slow at first, tentative, like testing forbidden waters, his lips firm, tasting of scotch and salt. My hands fisted his shirt, pulling him closer, the world dissolving into heat and need. We tumbled to the rug, clothes shedding like inhibitions, his body a landscape of hard lines and hidden softness. He was commanding even in surrender, hands mapping me with reverence, whispers of mine against my skin. After, tangled in sheets, his head on my chest, he murmured, "This changes everything." I traced his scar. Good change. The best. But dawn brought shadows, his phone buzzing with a bored alert, reality crashing in. January roared in with blizzards and boardroom wars. Our secret bloomed. Stolen lunches, coded texts, vertex pivot, or rooftop. Nights at his place where walls crumbled. He was insatiable, tender, nights of laughter over takeout, mornings of lazy coffee and shared silences. I fell hard, envisioning futures, us against the machine, building something real. But cracks spiderwebbed. Whispers in the halls, Cameron's distraction, my meteoric rise. Then, the betrayal, a leaked email chain, anonymous, painting our relationship as favoritism. Vertex soured, regulators sniffing antitrust, stock dipping. Cameron withdrew, meetings terse, touches ghosts. One night, post-argument with the board, he snapped. This us, it's a liability. I can't risk the firm. I reeled. After everything? You said. I know what I said. His eyes, once warm, iced over. But this is business. Luke. Love's a luxury I can't afford. The words gutted me. I packed a bag that night, crashing at Mia's, tears hot on feather pillows. Betrayal burned, not just rejection, but erasure, like our nights were footnotes in his empire. Weeks of radio silence, the office a minefield. I threw into work, earning nods from the brass, but hollow. Climax hit mid-February. Vertex imploded. A DOJ probe pinning blame on internal lapses. Cameron took the fall publicly, resigned in oppressor, face a mask of stoicism. But I knew it was cover, protecting the firm he'd built. That night, he showed at my door, rain-soaked, ice-haunted. I lied. It wasn't the firm. It was me, afraid I'd ruin you, like I ruin everything. I let him in, fury and love warring. You already did. We fought raw, ugly accusations flying, truths unearthed. His fear rooted in a father's abandonment, my terror of abandonment echoing. But in the wreckage, clarity, love wasn't perfection. It was choosing the mess. Dawn found us mended, tentative. He stepped down, pivoting to a consultancy, freedom to breathe. We moved slow, therapy sessions, rooftop walks, rebuilding trust brick by human brick. Spring thawed the city, cherry blossoms defiant. On a bench in the park, hands linked, he said, I can't look away, Luke. Not anymore, and neither could I. In the grind of America, the hustle, the heartbreak, we found grace. Two men, flawed and fierce, writing our own revolution. Not fairy tale, but real scarred, sexy, profoundly ours. The probe's fallout lingered like cigarette smoke in a no-smoking bar, acrid, inescapable. Cameron's resignation made headlines. Hale and Associates turmoil. CEO steps down amid merger scrutiny. Pundits dissected it on CNBC. Suits in studios pontificating about ethical lapses and ambition's price. But I knew the undercurrent. Sacrifice. He'd shouldered the blame to shield the board, the shareholders, the machine that had forged him. Noble? Maybe. Stupid? Definitely. Because it left him adrift in a sea of what-ifs, and me picking up shrapnel in the office trenches. Back at my desk, promoted to junior analyst now. The cubicle upgraded to a semi-private pod with a window sliver. I fielded the gossip brigade. Heard Hales crashing at some Tribeca loft. Brooding like Batman, whispered Tara from compliance, her nails tapping a staccato rhythm on her mug. You were his golden boy, spill the tea. I forced a shrug, eyes on my screen. Just work stuff. Guy's a pro, but nights clawed at me. Mia's apartment, with its peeling wallpaper and the perpetual scent of ramen and weed, felt like a bunker. I'd scroll his Insta, privatized now, but cached posts lingered, him at a gala, arm around a ghost of an ex, smile practiced. No us. No trace. The betrayal festered. Not the cold shoulder, but the lie he'd fed me, love's a luxury. Bullshit. It was fear, pure and primal, the kind that makes alphas curl into fetal positions under Egyptian cotton. A week post-downfall, my phone lit up at 2 a.m. Can we talk? See. I stared at the ceiling cracks mapping like veins, thumb hovering. Where? My place. Now. The cab ride blurred Manhattan's veins, neon arteries pulsing under sodium lamps. His building loomed, a monolith of glass and entitlement, doorman nodding me up without a word. Penthouse door ajar, jazz seeping like melancholy fog, Miles Davis this time, trumpet wailing loss. He was on the balcony, shirt untucked, scotch in hand, city sprawl a glittering indictment below. Rain slicked his hair, clinging shirt translucent against the ridges of his back. You came, couldn't sleep. I leaned on the railing, shoulder brushing his. Electric still, despite the rift. He exhaled, smoke from an illicit cigarette curling. I fucked up. Royally. Ya think. Bitterness edged my voice, but softer than I meant. He turned, eyes raw, red-rimmed, unguarded. The email leak? It was her. Vanessa. My ex. She's on the board now. Married the chairman. Saw us getting close. Twisted it into ammo. Betrayal layered on betrayal. Vanessa, the society ghost. Blonde and brittle. Who'd left him for stability. Now weaponizing our secret. Why not fight it? Because fighting means dragging you through the mud. Photos. Rumors you're just starting. I couldn't. His voice cracked. Hand raking hair. I pushed you away to protect you. Stupid. Selfish. But God. Luke. Every night without you. The dam broke. I grabbed his collar, yanking him close, kissing him fierce. Anger. Longing. The whole messy cocktail. He groaned into it, hands framing my face, thumbs brushing tears I hadn't noticed. We stumbled inside, rain pattering like applause, shedding clothes in a trail of urgency. His body, familiar yet fervent, mapped mine with apologies in every touch, lips on collarbones, fingers tracing hip bones, whispers of sorry against thighs. Collapsed after, sweat slick and spent, he held me like I'd vanish. I'm done running the machine. Starting my own boutique advisory, focus on ethical plays. No more cages. I traced his scar, heart mending jagged. And us, tentative. Therapy. Dates that aren't power plays. He smiled, genuine, crinkles at eyes, boyish under the stubble. If you'll have me, I nodded, throat tight. One step, spring crept in, tentative as us. First date. A hole-in-the-wall taqueria in Williamsburg, tacos al pastor dripping with pineapple heat, laughter over spilled salsa. No suits, just jeans and hoodies, blending into the hipster haze. He opened more childhood in Queens tenements, dad's vanishing act leaving mom to scrape by on diner tips. I built walls to survive. You're the wrecking ball. I shared 2 Ohio winters, football fields where I'd fake straight crushes. The night I came out to my sister, her hug fiercer than any tackle. Vulnerability bonded us, brick by human brick. But conflict simmered. His consultancy launch party, lofted space in Soho, venture capitalists swirling like sharks. I arrived in chinos and a button-down, feeling underdressed amid the Rolex gleam. Vanessa was there, arm looped through her husband's, eyes like daggers when they landed on me. Luke, darling, she purred, air-kissing cheeks. Husband oblivious. Cameron's new. Protégé. Heat rose. Something like that. She leaned in, breath wine sour. Careful. He burns bright, but he always leaves ashes. Cameron materialized, hand possessive on my waist. Vanessa. Charles. Enjoying the canapés? Dismissal laced his tone, but she smirked. Just catching up with your latest distraction. The room tilted. Later, in a shadowed corner, he gripped my arms. Ignore her. She's poison, but she's right. Am I just? No. Fierce. You're everything. The one thing worth the risk. We slipped out early, hailing a cab to his loft, now ours. Boxes of my clothes migrating over weekends. That night was reclamation. Slow, sensual, his mouth charting devotion on every inch, my nails raking pleas across his back. Dawn found us tangled, city awakening to our quiet vows. Yet drama peaked in May, Vertex's ghost rising. DOJ subpoenaed records, fingering Cameron's lapses. Headlines screamed fallen Titan faces charges. Paparazzi swarming his building. I woke to flashes through blinds, his phone exploding. Shit, he paced, naked and furious. They'll crucify me. I pulled him down, grounding. We fight. Together, lawyers descended, shark tanks in pinstripes, depositions in sterile rooms where truths twisted like pretzels. Vanessa testified, painting him as reckless, me as pawn. Betrayal's second wave. Anonymous leaks to the Post. Grainy photos of us at the taqueria, captioned Hale's heats up post-resignation. The toll carved him hollow. Sleepless nights, scotch turning to habit. One evening, post-hearing, he shattered. Glass hurled at the wall, shards glittering like accusations. I can't drag you down too. End it, Luke. Before, I slapped him sharp, shocking us both. Fuck that. You're not my savior or my ruin. We're equals. Partners. Tears tracked his cheeks. First I'd seen. He crumpled into me, sobs muffled against my neck. I love you. God, I love you. The words unlocked floods. Mine too. Raw confessions in the wreckage. We called a therapist next day. A no-nonsense queer doc in Chelsea with a rainbow flag and zero bullshit. Sessions peeled layers. His abandonment schema. My people-pleasing scars. Progress was glacial. Human. Fights over dishes. Make-up sex that bruised souls and bodies. Summer scorched the city. Humidity thick as unresolved tension. Consultancy thrived. Ethical audits for startups. Cameron's rep rebounding as the reformed disruptor. We claimed a rhythm. Mornings jogging the reservoir. Him in tank top slick with sweat. Me stealing glances at the V of his back. Evenings cooking disasters. Burnt risotto redeemed by wine and wit. Climax crested in July. DOJ dropping charges. Insufficient evidence. Vanessa's testimony crumbling under cross. Press conference. Cameron at a podium. Me off stage. His voice steady. This isn't victory. It's a reminder. Ambition without integrity is ash. I'm grateful for second chances, and the man who taught me that has found mine. Public wink to our private world. Cheers erupted, but ours was quieter. Later, rooftop of his building, skyline fireworks for the 4th echoing our spark. Fall deepened bonds. Halloween. We dressed as Kerouac and Cassidy, beards and flannel, crashing a queer-lit reading in the village. Laughter-free, hands linked unashamed. Thanksgiving at Mia's, my family zooming in, awkward but warm. Mom's pie recipe texted, Dad's gruff, proud of ya. Son. Winter circled back. Anniversary marking that snow-laced confession. Under the same lamppost, ring in pocket, he'd planned it, nervous as a kid. Not marriage, not yet. But promise, through the grinds, the betrayals, the beauty, I slipped it on. Silver band etched with can't look away. Always, in America's relentless churn, Wall Street wolves, subway symphonies, the human ache for more, we carved sanctuary. Not perfect, but profound, two men, loving loud, living true. The ring felt foreign at first, heavy on my finger. a talisman against the chaos. Cameron noticed my fidgeting during our morning run, sweat beading on his temple as we looped the park's bridle path. Second thoughts? He teased, breath puffing in the crisp November air. I flexed my hand, silver glinting under sodium lamps. Nah. Just manifesting. Like, this is real. He slowed to a jog, pulling me into an alley of bare oaks, lips brushing my temple. Real as the hangover we'll nurse after Mia's ugly sweater bash tonight. His kiss lingered, tasting of Gatorade and promise, before he nipped my earlobe. And real as the way you make me want to burn it all down and build something better. Heat pooled low, but we ran on discipline his religion, mine by osmosis. Back at the loft, showers separate to save time, though his ended with me pressed against tile, water cascading as his hands roamed, murmurs of later against my neck. Breakfast was chaos. Him in boxers flipping pancakes, lopsided. Perfect. Me brewing coffee strong enough to wake the dead. NPR droning market opens. Work reshaped too. My analyst role bloomed, leading a green energy portfolio. Pitches to VCs who actually listened. Cameron's consultancy overlapped. Joint client dinners where I'd catch him watching, pride softening his alpha edges. But humanism crept in the why behind the wins. We volunteered at a queer youth center in Harlem. Him mentoring on resumes. Me facilitating art therapy. Seeing him with those kids. Awkward teen with gelled hair confessing family rejection. Cameron's hand on shoulder. Voice gentle. You're enough. Always were. Cracked me open. Love deepening into reverence. Yet conflict never fully sleeps. December brought Vanessa's shadow. An invite to the firm's holiday gala. Gold embossed. Laced with subtext. Come as my +1, Cameron said, tossing it on the counter like a gauntlet. Show them we're unbreakable. I hesitated, fork midway to mouth. Or give her more ammo? He set down his wine. I steal. Hiding's what broke us before. This time, we own it. The gala was opulence incarnate. Waldorf ballroom. Chandeliers dripping light like diamond tears. Air thick with Chanel and ambition. I wore a rented tux. Tailored black. Bow tie crisp. Cameron in bespoke midnight blue. Arm possessive around my waist as we entered. Heads turned. Murmurs rippling. Hails back. With the protégé. Vanessa intercepted early. Gown a scarlet siren. Diamonds winking like lies. Cameron. Luke. How? Domestic. Her smile didn't reach eyes. He stiffened, but squeezed my hand. Vanessa. Enjoying the caviar. She sipped champagne, gaze raking me. Thrilled to see you thriving post-scandal. Luke must be your good luck charm. Venom dripped. Husband hovering oblivious. I stepped up, voice even. Luck's got nothing on trust. You should try it sometime. Her laugh tinkled glass. Oh, honey. In this world, trust is for fools. Cameron steered me away, to the dance floor where a string quartet crooned Sinatra. His hand at my low back. We swayed, clumsy at first. Him leading with boardroom precision. Me following with two left feet grace. Laughter bubbled as he dipped me low. Whispers tickling. You're stealing the show. But midway, flashbulbs popped. Paparazzi smuggled in. No doubt her doing. Click click. Hail and mystery man? Romance or rebound? Panic flickered in his eyes. But he pulled me closer. Fuck him. Dance with me. We did, defiant, until the board chairman cornered him, face florid. Cameron, a word. This display. Investors talk. I slipped away, heart pounding, nursing a scotch at the bar. Tara sidled up, eyes wide. Babe, you're trending. Hail heartthrob, nausea roiled. Betrayal's echo, not hers this time, but the system's judging, commodifying our love. Cameron returned, jaw set. They're spooked. Want me to cut ties publicly. And, he cupped my face, thumb tracing jaw. I told them to shove it. You're my future. They can invest elsewhere. We left amid stares. Cab ride a blur of kisses, fierce, reclaiming. Home. We made love with urgency. Him on knees, devotion in every lick. Me atop, riding waves of mine yours ours. After, curled in sheets, he traced my ring. Worth every fallout. New Year dawn symbolic. Times Square crush. But we watched from his balcony. Champagne flutes clinking to resolution. Therapy evolved, group sessions now, with other queer couples navigating corporate closets. Stories shared. A banker's husband outed by a colleague's tweet. A tech exec's partner suing for defamation. Camaraderie healed, reminding us we're not alone in the fray. Spring 2026 bloomed resilient. A client win sustainable fintech startup. Us tag-teaming the pitch, sealed with a rooftop toast. City humming approval. But personal drama crested. My mom's visit from Ohio, first since the city boy phase. She arrived wide-eyed at Penn Station, hugging fierce, pie tins in tow. Dinner at our place, Cam charring steaks on the balcony grill, me setting a table with actual linens. Mom's gaze sharpened over mashed potatoes. He's a keeper, Lukey. Eyes only for you, Cam blushed. Rare. Ma'am, he's the keeper. Later, washing dishes, she cornered me. He loves deep. Don't let fear steal that. Her words echoed in June, when opportunity knocked. A headhunter offer for me, senior role at Goldman, double pay, London Post. Think of the exposure. The suit droned over oysters at Per se. I broached it tentative. It's a leap. But long distance. Cameron's face shuddered, fork pausing. You deserve it. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't scare the hell out of me. Fight brewed slow, him withdrawing into work binges, me overpacking hypotheticals. Climax exploded one humid night. Me slamming the fridge. You're doing it again. Pushing. He whirled, eyes blazing. Because losing you terrifies me. After everything, Vanessa. The probe, you're my anchor. Luke. Don't make me beg. Tears stung. I'm not leaving you. It's growth. We grow together. He deflated, pulling me to the couch. Apologies in embraces. You're right. Selfish alpha bullshit. We talked till dawn. Compromises. London for a year. Monthly flights. Video nights with jazz playlists. Vulnerability's gift. Stronger roots. Summer sailed smoother. Mom's seal of approval led to family trips. Cam meeting my sister in Cleveland. Awkward BBQs where he charmed with finance parables disguised as dad jokes. His mom, a Queen's firecracker, hosted us for cannoli Sundays, grilling him. Treat him right, or I'll haunt ya. Fall harvest brought harvest of joys. Consultancy hitting 7 figures. My portfolio greenlighting a queer-led VC fund. Halloween redux, zombies this time, shambling through the village, his arm around me amid glitter and groans. Thanksgiving. We hosted Mia's crew, therapy group stragglers, a potluck of queer chaos, gluten-free turkey, rainbow jello salads. Toasts rang, to betrayal survived, loves reclaimed. Winter whispered of permanence. Christmas Eve. Under the tree he'd decorated, tinsel crooked, ornaments mismatched. He knelt again, not ring, but keys. Move in. For real. No more boxes. I laughed through tears. Thought you'd never ask. New Year's. We joined the square madness, costumed throng, ball dropping like hope renewed. His kiss at midnight. To us. Unbreakable. In the American tapestry, hustle woven with heart. We threaded our story. Dramatic falls, emotional risings, romantic fires banked human. Cameron's gaze, once cold watch, now warm anchor. And I couldn't look away. Wouldn't. Permanence settled like fine dust, subtle, transformative. The loft evolved, my books mingling with his Kerouac spines, Ohio quilt draped over the leather sectional, a shared dresser where socks tangled like lovers' limbs. Mornings blurred into ritual, his alarm at 5:30, grown mumbled kisses before coffee, me lingering in bed scrolling client emails till his up. Slacker pulled me vertical. We jog, banter over bagels, everything wry, his queen's roots unyielding, then diverge, him to client calls in sweatpants, me to the train for desk drudgery. But harmony hummed undercurrents of test. Early 2027. A ghost resurfaced. Cameron's college ex. Riley, tall, tattooed artist type. Emailing from LA. Heard you're reformed. Coffee? Old times. Innocent. Maybe. But the photo attached, Riley mid-laugh. Paint smeared. Eyes crinkling like memories stirred silt. I spotted it open on his laptop. Heart lurching. What's this? He glanced up from notes. Casual. Riley. Reaching out. We ended messy, him wanting forever. Me chasing Wall Street. Jealousy spiked. Irrational. And now, LA's calling. A beat. Then sigh. Luke. It's coffee. Closure. Or opening. Voice sharper than intended. The fight simmered. Him defensive. You're policing my past. Me raw. After Vanessa. Trust's fragile. Doors slammed. Silences stretched. Night. I crashed on the couch. Quilt cocoon but cold. Dawn. He knelt by. Coffee steaming. I deleted the thread. You're my present. Only. Forgiveness was tentative. Therapy unpacking my abandonment triggers. His guilt patterns. We emerged tighter. Pact renewed. Full disclosure. No ghosts unchallenged. Spring bloomed with balm. My London offer loomed, visa approved. Relocation packet thick as a novel. 6 months. I reminded over picnic in the park. Prosciutto sandwiches wilting in heat. Trial run. He fed me a grape. Thumb lingering on lip. Feels like exile. But think you. Visiting. Seducing me in fog-shrouded pubs. Wiggle of brows. His laugh rumbling. Packing became foreplay. Bubble wrap pops punctuating kisses. Him helping by distracting with hands under shirts. Departure day. JFK throng swallowed me. His goodbye kiss airport public. Deep. Unashamed. Tears salt on tongues. Call when you land. Love you. London was Dickensian dream, Thames mist, tube rumbles, my Goldman desk overlooking the Shard. Work devoured, derivatives deals, pints with Yanks in exile, but nights ached. Video calls at odd hours, him in dawn light, me in twilight gloom, bridged gaps. Miss your snoring, he'd tease. Miss your pancakes? I'd retort. Sex escalated, thinking of your mouth on me under Big Ben. Flights synced monthly, me stateside for weekends of ravenous reconnection, him to Heathrow for stolen Euro jaunts. Midsummer, conflict-crested transatlantic. A client gala in the city, me schmoozing, loosened by gin, when a colleague, posh Oxford drawl, cornered, heard your Hales boy toy. Cute. But does he know about that intern back home? Lies? No Ohio fling. Prius. But twisted. Jet-lagged paranoia brood. I texted Cam furious. Rumors flying. You outed us? His reply instant. WTF? Call me. Accusation flew. Me accusing breach. Him baffled hurt. I've been nothing but open. This your fear talking. Words escalated, controlling. Insecure call ended in static. Days of radio silence. London blurring to gray. Mia mediated via group chat, boys. Communicate or combust. Truth surfaced. Colleagues sour grapes from a past promotion. Gossip mill churning. I apologized sheepish. Flight home surprise. He met me at arrivals. Sign scrawled. Forgive your idiot? Bouquet of daisies. My favorite. Reunion was fire. Cab ride hands roaming. Loft door barely shut before clothes shredded. Never again, he growled, pinning me to wall. Thrusts punctuation to mine. After baths drawn with bubbles. Confession soapy. I panic when distance amplifies doubts. Fair. But we're steel now. Fall harvest. My London stint extended, promotion to VP. Irresistible opportunity. Cam visited for my birthday. Whisking to Cotswold's cottage. Thatched roof. Roaring fire. Us trussed in jumpers shagging on sheepskin rugs. Proud of you, he murmured post-climax. Fingers carding hair. Even if it kills me. Back stateside. His consultancy boomed. Keynote at Davos. TEDx on ethical capitalism. Me zooming cheers from afar. Betrayal's scar tissue stretched. A bored leak fingering him in old vertex dirt. Shares dipping. He called. Voice strained. Old wounds. Vanessa's hand. I flew home incognito. Surprising with takeout and truths. Fight smart. We've got receipts. Together, we lawyered up, defamation suit filed. Her empire quaking. Victory tasted sweet. Settlement hushed. Public retraction. Team, we toasted. Clinking IPAs on the balcony. Winter wrapped us continental. Christmas in Ohio, family folding Cam in. Dad's bear hugs. Sister's pie baking lessons. Him chopping wood with boyish grin. This normalcy? Addictive. New Year's. London fireworks via FaceTime. Then stateside bash at Mia's. Queer cabaret. Drag queens lip-syncing Gaga. Us slow dancing in corner. Hands low. To Bridges, he whispered. 2028 dawned ambitious. My return stateside. Goldman transferring me to New York. Corner office with Hudson view. Reunion airport dash, him tackling me in baggage claim. Kiss scandalous amid stairs. Home, but drama's pulse persisted. A rival firm poached Cam's top client. Whispers of sabotage. Stress etched him gaunt. Late nights. Skipped runs. One eve, post-meeting meltdown, he confessed over whiskey, imposter syndrome. Always waiting for the rug pull, I knelt between his knees, hands on thighs. You're the alpha who chose heart. That's power. Intimacy healed. Slow worship. My mouth coaxing moans. His surrender a gift. Therapy duo now. Couples intensives in the Catskills. Hikes unpacking baggage amid maple reds. Spring equinox. Proposal redux. This time mutual. Park bench. Same as year one. Rings exchanged. Matching bands. Vows handwritten. Through betrayals and blooms. I choose you. Summer sizzled. Wedding whispers. Mia's planner mode. Venue hunts in the Finger Lakes. But climax loomed. Vanessa's final gambit. Anonymous dossier to press. Fabricated affair claims. Me as gold digger. Fury ignited. Cam wanted scorched earth. I urged grace. Humanize it. Op-ed. Love in the crosshairs. He penned it raw. Romantic in boardrooms of betrayal. I found truth in a boy's gaze. We're all human. Fumbling toward light. Viral ripple. Support flooded. Queer icons retweeting. Her credibility ash. We emerged phoenixes. Wedding hastened. Fall foliage framed the ceremony. Lakeside pavilion. 50 souls, family, friends. Youth center kids in tiny suits. Vows tear-streaked. Mine. You taught me to look. Not away. His. Your fire thawed my cold. Honeymoon. Amalfi cliffs. Lemon groves. Us tangled in white linens. Sea crashing anthems to ecstasy. Back. Life layered richer. His book deal on ethical finance. My nonprofit arm for LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs. Betrayals? Distant echoes. Love? Daily sacrament. Burnt toast kisses. Argument makeups. The quiet I see you in glances. In America's vast, varied heart we, two men, wove legacy. Dramatic, emotional, romantic, profoundly human. Legacy unfurled like a well-worn map, creased, colored by detours, leading to horizons we charted hand in hand. Post-wedding glow lingered into 2029, the loft rechristened home, with vows etched on a hallway plaque, can't look away. Mornings, sunlight slanting through blinds, I'd wake to Cam's arm heavy across my waist, breath warm on neck, murmuring stock tips in sleep. Buy low, love high, he'd mumble, pulling me closer for lazy friction under sheets. Work wove tandem. His book tour, Alpha No More, Heart in the Hustle, packing houses from Seattle tech hubs to DC think tanks, me tagging for keynotes, our duo act drawing crowds. The reformed wolf and his tamer, MCs quipped, we'd laugh, hands brushing podium mics, subtext electric. Backstage, quickies in green rooms, him hiking my slacks, growl of mine muffled against shoulder. But humanism's core pulsed outward. The nonprofit Harper Hale Initiative launched spring, seed-funded by our networks, mentorships for queer youth in finance, scholarships stamped with our story. First cohort, 20 kids, diverse as the city, transcoder from the Bronx, non-binary analyst from rural Texas. Opening retreat in the Berkshires, Cam leading trust falls, me facilitating vision boards, evenings around campfires sharing scars. One boy, Jamal, eyes wide over Esmores. Y'all make it seem possible. Like, love wins without the fairy dust. Cam's throat bobbed, hand finding mine. It wins because we fight for it. Every damn day. Conflict. Inevitable companion. Reared in summer swelter. Book success birthed backlash. Conservative outlets branding it woke propaganda. Boycotts from old guard clients. Cam's phone buzzed vitriol. Slurs in DMs. Death threats veiled as concern. Nights. He'd pace balcony. Scotch forgotten. Jaw clenched. I found him there one thunderstorm eve. Lightning fracturing skyline. They're afraid, I said, wrapping arms from behind. Of what we represent. Unapologetic joy. He leaned back, head on my shoulder. Some days, I wonder if I dragged you into the fray. Foolish talk. I spun him, rain misting our faces. I jumped. Eyes wide. Kiss turned carnal. Balcony rail digging hips. Thunder masking moans as he took me standing, raw. Reclaiming. Release sinking with fork lightning. After toweling dry, he whispered, "You're my humanism." The why. Fall brought harvest. Non-profit gala at MoMA. Donors dazzled by our pitch invest in futures, not fortunes. Vanessa attended. Uninvited ghost. Gown demure. Apology note slipped to our table. I was wrong. Be happy. Cam crumpled it unread. I nodded across room. Grace extended. Closure. Bittersweet. Winter wrapped introspective. Holidays hybrid. Ohio for turkey. Queens for pasta. Us mediating family quirks. Dad's homophobic slips softened by Cam's charm. His mom's endless matchmaking jokes for the grandkids we'll adopt. New Year's. We volunteered at the youth center. Ring leading a midnight countdown. To messy, magnificent lives. 2030 dawned pivotal. My Goldman sabbatical. Full pivot to the initiative. Co-CEO with Cam. Office in Flatiron, exposed brick. Rainbow murals. Interns buzzing. Daily synergy. Brainstorming over cold brews. His alpha strategies tempered by my emotional radar. But drama distilled personal, fertility talks. Post-adoption seminars. Kids? He broached over dim sum. Chopsticks paused. Heart flipped. Yeah. 2. Foster to adopt. Keep the circle wide. Excitement brewed. Hurdles human home studies probing our stability, therapy vetting parenting chops. First placement. Twins. 4-year-old terrors from the system, Elias and Sophia. Wild curls and wary eyes. Initial weeks chaos. Bedtime battles. Crayon wars on walls. Cam discovering midnight storytime voices. Gruff for dragons. Soft for mermaids. One night, post-tantrum triage. Kids asleep. He collapsed beside me. We're in over our heads. I laced fingers. Or just right. Bonding bloomed. Park picnics. Elias's soccer games where Cam cheered horse. Sophia's ballet recitals with us in tutus for laughs. Betrayal's old sting echoed in system glitches, visitation scares. Biomom relapses, but we advocated fierce. Lawyers on speed dial. Climax crested autumn. Court finalization. Adoption day in family court. Judge's gavel falling like benediction. Back home. Party erupted. Mia's cake tower. Youth mints toasting with juice boxes. Cam lifted Sophia high. Tears unchecked. Hours. Finally. But life's plot twists unyielding. Winter whisper. Diagnosis. His prostate shadow on scans. Early but insistent. Waiting rooms blurred. His hand vice in mine. If. No ifs. Stern. We fight. Like always, treatments loomed, surgery, radiation roulette. He withdrew fractionally, alpha pride dented by nausea, vulnerability. Nights, I'd hold him through chills, whispering Kerouac lines. The only people for me are the mad ones. Remission came spring, scans clean, cheers echoing doc's offices. Rebirth, family hike in the Appalachians, kids scampering trails, us trailing hand in hand. Second chance, he said, kissing knuckles. Summer sealed legacies. Book sequel, Hearts in the Hold, Family and Finance. Co-authored, twins doodles on dedications. Nonprofit scaled satellites in LA, Chicago, queer havens blooming. Fall foliage framed reflection. Park bench, grown now with kid chaos nearby. Rings worn thin but true. 10 years, Cam mused, arm around shoulders. From elevator stair to this, I leaned in. Best plot twist, winter's eve, balcony vigil, snow soft, city hushed. Elias and Sophia tucked. We slow danced to Coltrane, his lead gentler, my follow assured. Love you, he breathed. Can't look away, in America's grand, gritty narrative, dramatic tempests, emotional ebbs, romantic swells, humanistic anchors we etched endurance. A cold alpha thawed, a watchful boy bold, their family a testament. Not ending, but continuum, flawed, fierce, forever unfolding.